people often say vegans are deficient, and it's true. But also, meat eaters are deficient, true. That's the thing we got to understand. So 90% of meat-eating women are deficient in DHA. Well, DHA, what is that? Well, you need it for a healthy pregnancy, number one. You need it for healthy brain function. You need it for emotional balance. You need it to protect yourself against depression. You need it to treat postpartum depression. That's the main treatment. So I can go on, but the fact is 90% of everyone is deficient in long-chain omega-3s, whether you're a plant-based or a meat eater. 80% of the population, meat eaters and vegans, are deficient in magnesium. And it is true that a plant-based diet is going to give you more magnesium. It's going to give you more calcium. But they're still going to have the deficiencies because you need magnesium to make your brain work, make your neurotransmitters, and good for your heart, good for your adrenals, good for your pancreas. You need it for lots of things. And we live in a society that's so stressful that we're using up all these kind of nutrients for the stress. Magnesium is an anti-stress mineral. So again, plant-based diet and meat eaters are deficient, but plant-based people are a lot less deficient because magnesium is very high in the leafy greens, plant food, and the chlorophyll. Okay, 75 to 95% of people are deficient in iodine, and that again is meat eaters and vegans. So we're sharing kind of a equality here. Why is iodine important? Well, if a mother has adequate iodine, their baby will have, on the average, a 13-point higher IQ. They did an experiment in Indonesia where they fed kids, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and they fed them iodine for 3 months, 12 weeks, and their IQs went up 8 points. So you need iodine for brain development. You need it for your thyroid. You need it actually for your skin. The skin has more iodine than any other organ, 800 milligrams. So everybody is deficient. Big problem. In China, they put iodine in the water because they know it's really good for your intelligence. Super good. They actually compensate for it. Okay, how about B12? Well, guess what? We got the same problem. At the minimum, 200 nanograms, 40% of meat eaters, that's a lot, and 80% of vegans are deficient. But when we go up to the optimum, 400 nanograms, 400 to 450, you got about 80% of meat eaters and about 90% of vegans. Everyone needs a B12 supplementation to have optimal functioning brain and nervous system. And particularly kids, because they need to be there. They're not born with B12, and so they start with 0, and they need it for neurological development. So again, across the board at optimum doses, meat eaters and vegans are pretty close in the deficient. Carnosine is another thing. Everybody's deficient in that. You need it for mental strength, health, and longevity. Minerals, although plant-based food has way more minerals, still many people are deficient. And then vitamin D, 85% of the population, whether you're a vegan or meat eater, is low in vitamin D. So what we really see is everybody's got deficiencies, and we need to take some supplements, whether you're a meat eater or whether you're a vegan. So I just wanted to dispel the myth that it's only vegans who are deficient. The truth is, plant-based people have more plant-based diets give you more B3, B6, magnesium, and vitamin D than meat-based diet. So actually, it's really the opposite. And also way more vitamin C and way more micronutrients. Okay, vitamin K, the same thing. People are deficient. And beta carotenes. Everybody kind of has a problem with the vitamin A because we don't convert it. Only, I'm going to say, 50% are able to convert it. So 27 to 45% of people only convert 9% of beta carotene to vitamin A. So again, it's a problem across the board. So that's just looking at that discussion. It's really important to understand that everybody in our world today, not 200 years ago, different world, different quality of soil. Now the soils are depleted. We can't get the nutrients that they used to get. So I use the word cuisine and versus his diet, because diet is more about macronutrients. And cuisine is style. There's a vegan style, Cajun style, Cantonese style, French style, different ways. Let's get me something to drink. So, the key is balancing our individual diet, our individual genetic needs that fits with our chromosome. That's the key to being successful. Does everybody get that? If you don't do that, you won't be as successful. Yeah. If you don't balance it to your actual genetic program, you're not going to be as successful. This is the study I'm referring to. Journal of Clinical Nutrition, June 2013. So it's a real study, major journal. And basically, so chromosome 19 tells you how much protein, how much carbohydrate, how much fat, the right ratios for you. So all the diet experts are out there telling you this is the best diet, that's the best diet. There's no one best diet. There is no one best diet. Get it. There's only the best diet for you that's uniquely for you, that fits your unique genetics. That's really key. 70% of the population needs a little bit higher protein. 30% needs a little bit lower protein. There is no one best diet. When people say, yeah, you want to have a high complex carbohydrate, low fat, low protein diet, that's actually good for 30% of the population. And it accounts for a lot of failures, people trying to do that diet, and they fail on basically the vegan diet. So just remember, you've got to do it to your constitution. I have certain questionnaires to help you point that out, whether you need a higher protein, lower protein. That's a big issue. Fast oxidizers need a higher protein. Slow oxidizers need a lower protein. We're just unique, okay? And we got to understand that. So this is the Ayurvedic Kapha Pitta Vata. I'm just showing you to let you know that uniqueness is not a new idea either. It's been around for thousands of years, and each of these types need a different kind of diet, okay? And then in the early 1930s, they already had figured out about fast and slow oxidizers, high protein, low protein people. Not new information, almost 100 years old. Yet we're still acting as if there's one diet for everybody, as if we're a bunch of cows. Just isn't what is. So what about protein in the diet? I'm going to look at the macro parts. So as I said, 70% need a higher protein. That's about 70 grams a day. 30% need lower, which is about 35. There's a range, and we're in that range. It's called the mTOR pathway. Now that pathway is the optimal amount of protein for longevity and anti-cancer. So it's significant to keep there.